many of you received your associate's degree tonight, and so this name is going to be very familiar to you. I want to spend a minute introducing our guest speaker. I'd like to give you a little background about Miss Juanita Cox Burton. Okay. Juanita was president of a consulting firm, Institute of Diverse Leadership. She possesses over 20 years of corporate experience, and her expertise includes management, executive education, marketing, operations, diversity, leadership, succession and training, customer service, organizational development, and her education includes an MBA at the University of Denver. She's a frequent speaker on the topic of diversity in the workplace, and she is sought by many on comments in the issues, the Wall Street Journal, the AMA periodical, HR Magazine, Colorado Business Magazine, the Bureau of National Affairs have all sought out her comment and her opinion. She has served on boards of directors for the YMCA, Society of Advancement of Management, Colorado Black Chamber of Commerce, Denver Workforce Development Board, and the University of Colorado. She's also chosen by the mayor of Denver to act as a board member on the Denver Workforce Development Board. Yes. Okay, I'm getting there. All right. Okay. Juanita also appeared in a nationwide television show called What Do Women Really Want? Anyway, I'm going to talk with her more about that later. Juanita's consulting firm specializes in assisting corporations in management, diversity, employee skills, and she's facilitated diversity sessions and received the Mountain Award for her efforts in business and has been a leader in African American leadership. For the last 5 years, Juanita taught leadership, management, and diversity to adult learners at the University of Colorado, Denver. These classes consisted of 25 participants per course, and each course was 3 months in duration. Prior to that, she's been an entrepreneur. She's developed and directed the nation's first successful fast-track program for women of color, which earned her the U.S. West Catalyst Award for New York. Okay, I'm going to just keep going like that. Okay, good. All right. Her clients have included the Denver Broncos. No applause necessary for that. The Denver Police Department, AT&T, Storage Tech, Hewlett-Packard, Pepsi-Cola. Chamber of Commerce, City of Denver, City of Littleton. There is a place here where it says, take a drink of water, okay? So I just want you to know that. All right. She's presently employed at Asher College, as many of you know, and she's the professor of our associate's degree program, also works as a health instructor, and one of his responsibilities are to assist you. And many of you got her assistance. I'm seeing nodding heads. And one last item you may or may not have known about Juanita, she also raced cars and motorcycles. I'm going to find out more about that. And is a professional poker player. Oh, okay, which is why she had to leave our Las Vegas campus, actually. It is, and I want to tell you that when she gave me this introduction, I said, okie dokie, all right? But she said, it's because I want them to know what's possible. And she's going to talk with you more about that. So it really is my great honor to introduce my friend and colleague, Professor Juanita Cox Burton.
Buenas noches. Magandang gabi. Aloha, ahihaki. Good evening, graduates, family, friends, and of course the Asher College staff. Well, I was not speaking gibberish. What I was attempting to do is to greet you in several different languages. So what's the language of Buenas noches? Absolutely. And magandang gabi? I'm sorry? Filipino. Woo, I am impressed with this group. And aloha ayaki? Of course it is. Aloha! All right. Well, I appreciate you introducing the Asher College staff, and none of this would be possible without your expertise, your patience, your experience, and your loving heart. So could we give the Asher College staff one more round? They are awesome. But this is about you, graduates. Congratulations. It is indeed an honor to be a part of your celebration. Now, we're all very, very proud of you. And once again, I think you should stand and congratulate yourself. So stand up and give yourself a hand. Woo-hoo! All right, so if you could congratulate those in close proximity to you, congratulate your fellow graduates. Okay. So now I want you to make eye contact with those who supported you and say thank you. Thank you, darling. I love you. You may be seated now. All right. So today is a big day for you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, and for Asher College staff. Your certificates are in your name, but it belongs to all of us. We all participated in making this happen. So I know you worked hard for this accomplishment and you made a lot of sacrifices. In most cases, you had to fit school into your already busy life, juggling multiple jobs, taking care of your families, and commuting every day to get those hours. We can't leave that out. But no matter what your circumstances, you're here today because of hard work, determination, and the support of all of those who are in attendance. For those of you who suffered through 6 months with me, although we didn't have a face-to-face relationship, except I got to tell you, Dallas Hill did come to Denver to meet me on a face-to-face basis, which I thought was absolutely marvelous. And I thank you, Dallas. Thank you. Wasn't that great? That was great. Thank you, Dallas. And Michelle. So we didn't have a face-to-face relationship, but I want you to know that when you shared your situations of despair, even though you couldn't see me, I cried with you. And when you shared your successes, I rejoiced with you. Now that you did hear in my voice, the rejoicement. And happily, today is a day that is filled with rejoicing. So I know you have a lot of expectations of these certificates and these degrees that you are about to receive. However, let me ask you not to do a few things with these precious papers. If you get broke, don't cash them in. They're worthless on the open market, okay? And if you get lonely one night, I beg of you, please, do not make love to it, okay? All right. Now, you could probably smoke it, but, okay, so all jokes aside, let me tell you what you can do with it. You can display it on your wall for all with whom you come in contact with can see. You can take a picture of it and send it to those naysayers who said you were wasting your time or too old to learn. You can earn 23% more than you would otherwise. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, those of you with a degree will earn $500,000 more over a 20-year period. And what we really hope you do with it is include it in your resume so it can go to the top of the heap because you are most qualified. With the help of advanced career development, you are now highly employable. Again, we are very proud of you and your accomplishments. Very. This is a big, big day for you, indeed. However, we would be remiss if we allowed you to leave us without talking about next steps. There are three things we would like you to consider. We know you've graduated, but we still have very high expectations of you. So we'd appreciate it if you would consider continuing your education, serving your community, that is, doing something for others, and accomplishing some personal goals for yourself. So let's start with continuing your education. I know you're sick of school, but hear me out, okay? This can't be it. This is just the beginning. You know, you're getting started. You know how you're riding a bike, you know, and at first you're a little slow, and then you get the, and that's where you are, you know. You're pumping now. You've got that energy going. So keep going. Don't stop now. We taught you how to learn, okay? We taught you how to rid yourself of negative self-talk, how to set goals. You know how to overcome obstacles and keep going. You have the patience, the tenacity, the perseverance, and the intellect to get a PhD. No? Well, at least an undergraduate degree, right? So we can keep going for that. I tell people that I have a PhD. I'm originally from the south side of Chicago, where the murder rate is 550 last year and continues to rise this year. I left Chicago alive, so I tell everyone I have a PhD in survival. So you can never be too educated, and you're never too old to learn. I feel so blessed about how far I've come and what I have accomplished. Did you hear my resume? Nah, you fell asleep. I heard you snoring. But I'm glad that I continued my education, and I truly believe that if you continue yours, that you will never, ever regret it. And education opens doors. It boosts your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and more importantly, it earns you respect and more money, okay? So continue learning, get more certificates, more degrees, more acronyms behind your name. Don't stop now. Don't stop. All right, the next thing I'd like to talk about is serving your community. That is doing something for others. Now, some of you are already working hard in your community, and I applaud you for the work that you're doing. But for those of you who aren't, let me encourage you to do so. Someone helped you. I know many helped me. So it's time to give something back. Volunteer for something that you feel really passionate about. I do volunteer work with welfare recipients, assisting them in the transition from government dependency to independency. I teach them how to write a resume, how to interview for a job, and I sponsor fundraisers and donation drives to obtain professional clothes for them. I talk them into going back to school, and I also counsel them on the possibilities in life. Because you see, I was once on welfare. And that was the start of my educational journey. I knew the only way out was to go back to school. I built my business on helping others, which is why I believe I was so successful for over 20 years. I was paid to train management on how to manage others. I've sat beside CEOs to coach them on how to develop a mission statement and ensure that their policies and procedures match the mission. So I guess I should have offered my services to the CEOs of Wells Fargo, Takata Airbags, and Volkswagen, all of whom strayed from their mission and forgot what they were in business to do. If a small business owner or employees within a corporation needed my help and couldn't afford my fees, I would help them pro bono. And what does pro bono mean? Free. You got it, baby. Okay. And so leaders in the community knew that I cared and I was willing to work hard, whether I was being paid for it or not. And as a result of my volunteering and pro bono work, I became well known in my community and was invited to be on boards and committees. And you can do this as well. You can be a big brother or a big sister, which is a youth mentoring organization, and they work with kids who live in single-parent homes or are somehow at risk. As a single parent, I was delighted to have a big brother for my son. His name is Adam, and he would take my son hiking and skiing, and my son broke his shoulder and never went back. But anyway, you know, they went. And sometimes they just go on long walks, you know, just to talk about things. Adam is still a member of our family after all of these years. And knowing what Adam did for my son, I became a big sister and touched the lives of several women over the years. So what is your passion? Our homeless, our elderly, our veterans, our youth? You can be a guest speaker in schools and encourage young people to continue their education or obtain certificates, as you have done in health services, accounting, IT, and pharmacy tech. Find a way to help and encourage others. Volunteer your time and expertise. Give something back to your community. Get to know people within the community who could one day help you or a loved one. You know, there's an old saying, you gotta know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And one of the ways that you get to know somebody is to work in your community. So keep in mind that as you help others, generally speaking, you're helping yourself. Who knows? 5 years from now, you could be the mayor of your city, you know? But you gotta get out there, you gotta get into the community, you gotta get well known, you gotta do something for other people and let some of the selfishness that we all have go while we try to help others who are in need. All right, the third thing is accomplishing your personal goals, and that is doing something for yourself. So we all want to do something before we expire or get too old to enjoy it, maybe own a home or have enough money to retire comfortably or get a master's degree, whatever. Maybe you want to jump out of an airplane or go on a date with Matt Dillon or Angelina Jolie. I don't know, I'm just saying. Most people only dream of accomplishing such goals. And I'm going to tell you how to stop dreaming, wake up, and make it happen. Now, I'm an Asher College staff member, and at Asher College, we don't just tell you something, we actually give you the tools to make it happen. As Asher College, it's our passion to learn and our privilege to teach you what we know. So feel free to take notes, that'll work. You've all learned about SMART goals and when you went through career success, right? Right? Okay, and you learned that it needs to be specific and measurable and attainable and realistic and time-bound. Well, that's for business goals. So for personal goals, the only one you need is the first one, and that is specificity. So what generally happens is that people make a list of 20 things, and then they stick it in a drawer somewhere, and they wonder why they never accomplished any of that stuff. Well, duh, you know, that's more like a bucket list. So the key is to make a list of 3 things that you want to accomplish within the next 5 years. Prioritize the list, select your top priority, and focus all of your attention on that one goal. Now here's where the specificity comes in. You listening? Yeah? Are you listening? Oh, okay, I'm just checking. All right, so rather than write, I want to travel, pick the place you really want to visit and get a picture of it so that you can see where it is that you want to go. So if you want to go to Paris, you know, you get a picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa or whatever. but you need a picture of it, okay? And then you place the picture in a prominent place within the house where you will see it every day. Let me give you an example. On one of my visits back to Chicago, one of my cousins was leaving town, and he told me to make myself comfortable in his house, and he gave me the keys to his car. Now, this car was so high-tech, I had no idea how to operate that car. So even when I wanted to turn on the windshield wipers, I was in the manual, windshield wipers, you know, how do you do that? But what really caught my attention is that it had a red button on the console that, if pushed, would cause the car to go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in seconds. Well, you already heard that I used to race cars and motorcycles, right? So I was like, I gotta have this car, you know? So when I got home, I found a picture of it in a magazine. It was the same make, model, color, you know, that I wanted in this particular car. So I don't want you to judge me, but I told you need to put it in a prominent place within your house where you would see it every day. So what I did was to take this picture and I put it on the wall in the bathroom across from the toilet, so that every time I visited the bathroom, I saw that car. Okay, so it gets imprinted in your mind, right? You know, you got to get this visual and you got to put it in a prominent place so you see it all of the time. Well, I want to tell you, it took me years, but I bought that car and paid cash for it. So I know this process works. You can do anything if it's important to you. Okay, so let's quickly review. You can take notes now. All right, so continue your education, serve your community, and accomplish your personal goals by making a list of 3 things you want to accomplish, prioritizing the list, and picking the top priority. Locate a picture of it and place it in a prominent place within the house. The bathroom will do. All right, and then once you meet that goal, then you move on to the next goal on your list. My next goal is to own a second home I'm from Colorado, so my next goal is to own a second home in Las Vegas. So you can leave donations on your way. Thank you, okay. Okay, well, in closing, I want to show our respect for those who are risking their lives to keep us safe. Would those of you in the audience who are serving or have served in the military please stand? And may I ask what part of the service you served in? Can I ask? Air Force? Army? Air Force? Air Force? Army? Air Force? Marine Corps? I didn't hear you. Air Force? What Air Force? In the Navy? All right. And you, sir? Air Force? Okay, so most of you Air Force? You Army? Okay. Army. All right, let's give him a hand again. Thank you for your sacrifices. It is greatly appreciated. My son served in the Navy on an aircraft carrier, the USS Ranger, which has since been retired. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is, if you don't mind, I'd like to have everybody stand. Okay, I mentioned that my son served in the Navy, so I know the Navy battle cry. And I think the Army's really close to it, but let me go with what I know, okay? All right, so what we're gonna do is yell out the Navy battle cry on the count of 3 to give these awesome graduates some encouragement to continue their education, serve their community, and accomplish their personal goals. Now, the Navy battle cry is hoo-yah, hoo-yah. So it's H-O-O-Y-A-H, hoo-yah. So on the count of 3, now Don't mumble. Let's rock this house, okay? So 1, 2, 3, hoo-yah! Oh, I love it. All right. So muchas gracias. Salamat. Aloha, which means, among other things, joyfully sharing life. I thank you, and may you continue to be blessed. Thank you very much.